Hello there, Colonel Mustard here, and welcome to the intermission of Abstract Fairways. And the intermission was necessary because uh, the most important thing in my world ended up showing up here in Bend. And so it was the most important thing for me was to make sure I got to Bend on time and on the right day so that we could make sure that that she was here. And so here she is, my wife Robin, who came to visit me in Bend for a day while I was on the trail, and pretty amazing for her to be able to take the time and do that and support me and spend the day with me. So as much as I love her even more forever. So thank you, Robin. And now we're going to enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you on the trail tomorrow. Stay on your path. Well, this is my new favorite trail angel. My wife is dropping me off at the trailhead this morning, but wanted to provide some trail magic for anybody who's coming by on the Sandy Am Pass. So we stopped and got just a few things, and she's going to hang out for a little while before she has to go to the airport and get out of here. But can't thank her enough for her enthusiasm for this adventure and allowing me to do it. So anything you want to say, Robin?
Happy trails!
All right, perfect. All right, we're going to get back on the trail here in a little bit and start what I'm going to call day 21 of the PCT journey through Oregon. So let's see what we can come up with some good views and pictures today. Well, if you're wondering where I am directly under Three Finger Jack, which is pretty surreal after years of growing up and seeing it from afar, from the highway, to think that I'm standing right here, right on it, right under it. So pretty amazing. About 2.5 hours ago, left the wife with her trail magic. She is now headed for the airport to head back home. But what an amazing day and an opportunity to spend some time with her on an intermission while we were on trail. It was super important. It's gotten me very emotional. So I'm really glad that we were able to do that. I want to take a minute and thank gratuitously Donna and Gary, who were so great to me in Redmond, and of course Stein and Laura in Bend for all of their hospitality during my brief intermission. Take a couple days off, let the legs rest before we head for the final 150 miles to Cascade Lock. So, 145 because we're already 5 miles through this morning. But that's the next plan, 8 or 9 days before we are done with this adventure. So we're going to make good time. We're going to move forward and see a lot of really cool, great things on the way. So stay with me. And day 21 is underway. We're back on trail. We'll talk to you soon. Well, close of the day. Time to set up camp. 22.5 miles today on this leg, on this stretch that takes me up to Timberline. Still about another 80 to go to get there. So gonna take several days for sure, but camping out here next to a lake, so I'll have plenty of water to get going with in the morning. And right underneath Mount Jefferson, which you can't see the top because of the clouds, but it's a lovely evening, should be really nice, pretty warm I would guess. And the trail today, half of it was very burned, interspersed with some really wonderful trail, great flowers, lots of pretty views. But again, you'd see those and then you go back into the burn area. So it was really interesting, difficult at times, but there's many more climbs ahead. So for tonight, I'm gonna get a lot of rest, hopefully sleep, because obviously that's what I've been having a lot of trouble with. And then wake up tomorrow and try and do the same thing again so that I can complete this journey in as few days as possible at this point and get myself home. So have a lovely evening, and I will bid you adieu. Colonel Mustard saying have a great night. Just did a really large climb around the backside of Mount Jefferson. Found this lovely little oasis. I don't know if you can hear it, but lovely running water, the sound any hiker wants to hear. And it smells absolutely breathtakingly delicious with all of the wildflowers that are just right in this area. Which is pretty interesting because here's the rest of where we are. So, just about 8 miles into today, and I'm going to try and get to Olali Lake, which would be somewhere a little over 24 miles if I get there. And that's all in relation to, I can't get to Timberline any days quicker, but I can get there earlier in the day if I take a couple of opportunities to stretch my miles on the way. So we're going to do that. But in the meantime, we're refilling water with this beautiful crystal clear water that's coming down from the mountain. I've also realized that pretty much for the rest of my journey, I'll be traveling alone. It's very unlikely that I'll have a hiking buddy the rest of the way, and I've gotten accustomed to that idea at this point. So now it's just you and me. There probably will be no we. Day 22 on the trail, keeping it going. I'm standing here at the top of the Peak Divide. Apparently this wasn't something we could go around. We had to climb all the way up it. And it's now not even 2 o'clock. We've done 3 major climbs. So about 14 miles in and I'm already exhausted. But we're now looking from the north side of Mount Jefferson. We went all the way around that. And if we pan around this way, we will see lots of emptiness to the east. And our first look at Mount Hood in the distance. 3 days away. That's where we're going. So Peak Divide. I thought, Tipsoo Point was supposed to be the top of the world, but God, it sure seems like it wasn't at this point. Okay, staying on my path. Hello, it's Colonel Mustard on day 22, and we made it to Olali Lake, which was awesome. 22.9 miles to get here today. And it was not an easy day. In fact, it was the hardest trail day that I've had. Some very large ascents. Some things that were very beautiful, but overall quite depressing. Why it was depressing is because over the last 2 days, I've been hiking through burned and destroyed forests for about 25 miles of those 2 days. It's not fun. And I didn't come out here to get depressed. I came out here to walk in the live forests, in the green forests, and just kind of hasn't worked out that way lately. So there's a couple of things that were interesting as I was walking today and looking at the challenges that this trail has. Environmental. Weather hasn't been bad. It's been very nice for the most part. We've had blue skies almost every day. But the terrain, obviously the last 2 days, not great. Not fun to hike in. Not fun to be out in. It's more along the lines of just try and manage to get through it. And then the trail today also was very rocky, chunky rocks, trying to walk on those up and down with mixed in with slate, mixed in with scree, made foot placement extremely important. You had to look down the whole day. A lot of times I found myself off trail on accident, not even knowing it, so I had to find the trail again. So environmentally, it was has been very difficult recently. Physically, well, the environment on the ground, the trail, just kind of wrecked my feet today. Other than that, things are pretty good. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm actually feeling like I'm too skinny and starting to cramp up a little bit, even though I'm trying to drink water as much as possible, and I'm hydrating as much as I can all day long. So physically, not so bad. However, what I'm finding is I am trying to go extra miles, and the sole purpose of that is to get to the end, to get to the finish line. So what I'm concerned about is being careless, not listening to my body, and that leading to injury, which could really make for bad decisions and a bad experience. And again, that's not what I'm here for either. Psychologically challenging. There's a car coming, so this could get interesting. I'm gonna wait for it. Psychologically, because I have nothing to do all day but walk and think. Mentally, I think that I probably checked out of this a week ago and forced myself really to continue on because Robin was coming to town. So now that I've been on trail for 2 more days since she's gone and 45 more miles since then, psychologically my whole thought process is get done. And again, that doesn't make it any fun. I don't get to enjoy the scenery. Of course, the last 2 days I've shown you the good scenery, but most of the scenery is burned timber and burned forests everywhere. So that's been challenging as well. And then emotionally, again, all of that has kind of made me angry on trail, I guess, depressed, not happy, just trying to get every extra mile so that I'm closer to the finish line. And when I look at all of those things, that is not what this trip is about. It's not what this trip is supposed to be about. And so I'm faced with a difficult decision at this point to continue forward for the next 7 or 8 days and be very miserable and only do it just to get to the finish line or to go off trail. And it's a very difficult decision because when Robin was here yesterday morning, as I was getting ready to leave on the trail and she was there, if she would have said, hey, why don't you come home? No brainer, would have gone. But she left it up to me. So I went another 2 days. I'm where I am right now emotionally, physically, psychologically, and environmentally, and I need to make a decision. So I've tried to be as positive on trail as I can and show you some really great things. Hopefully most of them came through. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I honestly can't tell you right now where the next video will come from. Could come from the trail. I might have a great night's sleep, wake up refreshed, wake up excited to move forward. Or it could come from someplace else. So everybody has to make their choices, and I think the big thing is once you've made a choice, you can't regret it. You're making the best decision for you at that particular time. You can second guess. People do that all the time. But when you make a decision that's right for you at that particular time, you can't regret it. There's no reason to. You're doing what the data told you was the right thing. So we'll figure what that is. And maybe my path is changing, but that's okay. And if it is, then I've had an amazing adventure still. It just hasn't been the exact same one that I came out here to attempt or to do. But no matter what, my constant message of stay on your path holds true. And sometimes that path changes and you can adapt with it, and that's just fine. But you have to figure out what is right for you and what that path is. So continue to do that no matter where you see me next. And this is day 22 of the Oregon Pacific Crest Trail from Olali Lake, which I made finally today. So have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.